I suppose it's thinking about GCSE options, and I guess the question is why study geography? We thought we'd flip it around on our teachers actually and ask, I study it. Geography is the study of the world today. I'm interested in history, but I'm more interested and more passionate about what's happening today. History influences it, but yeah, I want to find out what's going on in the world today, and it is a complex world and at times challenging, and I want to study it and I want to come up with some solutions. Mr. Hall, he's super passionate about his traveling. He's always cites that some of the best things he's done is travels around South and Central America, and just learning about these different cultures and places is something that has always fascinated him.
And the way I see it is that geography allows you to understand what has happened. But unlike history that stops there, we move forward and go, how can we apply what's happened to the future to make sure that if some events don't happen again and some events do happen again because they worked and were so successful. And it's about making you guys good citizens of tomorrow. And the way we look at it is we look at it from a sustainability lens, whereby we try and understand how the world works, which is physical processes like tropical storms, volcanoes, and rivers. And we look at what humans do to that natural world that either make it thrive or destroy it. And we also look at how you can find that perfect equilibrium between the two, and how we can find a sweet spot between humans enabling the world to thrive and making sure that what we leave behind us is as good, if not better, than what we had in the first place.
The course is split up into 3 papers. We have our physical paper, our human paper, and paper 3. The physical paper, to be a good human geographer, we really need to understand some of the main concepts of the earth that we live on. We think about natural hazards, we're looking at coastal rivers, we're looking at sort of biodiversity and ecosystems from a local to a global scale. But without those, you cannot be a good human geographer to have an understanding of those. And paper 2 looks at cities and urbanization around the world, sort of our global economy and its dynamic changing nature. And we're looking at some of the key resources like carbon, food, energy, water, and how we manage those. Paper 3 has a little look at our field work, and then also tests us on a sort of a decision-making exercise on a scenario given to us by the exam board. Nice paper, not really necessary to revise for, but we do a lot of practicing for in lessons, which is a nice paper.
And it's really the skills in paper 3 that you acquire that make geography graduates some of the most employable graduates in the world. Just because if you compare nationally and in national average over the last few decades, geography graduates only have an unemployment rate of 5.3% after finishing university, whereas other subjects have an average of about 7.8. And you can see there from the BBC and Guardian articles, it's very sought after. Geography graduates very sought after, simply because, like paper 3 does, it forces you to learn about problems, think about solutions, and actually apply them to the real world. So you've got a really good kind of problem solving analytical brain that allows you to kind of apply theory and put it into practice. And so some of the classic jobs geography students end up going into are risk analysis, whether that's a risk from a financial point, climatic point, or social point. It allows graduates to look at development and how we can ensure the world is a fairer, more even and equal place. It allows geographers to help governments plan for hazards and avoid any potential disasters, be that tectonic or weather hazards, and actually map areas of risk and map areas that are likely to be affected, and how we can avoid issues happening in the future.
And in terms of employability, field trips are paramount importance in this subject. Not just field trips, the primary research, but also the secondary research that we take on before or after or during a field trip, because we really want project work and we really want to get out in the world, look at an issue and understand it and create a report and evaluate. And actually, if you think about the workplace, that's what you do. You don't get a memory test for 2 hours in the workplace. You do project work. And that's why this is such a good subject for employability. Iceland 2022 was going to go April 2020. Can't go April 2021, but hopefully it should go ahead in April 2022 for you guys.
And ultimately, the question is, why would you want to do geography? The way we see it in the department is geography is kind of the subject that helps you connect everything else you do in school. Whether that's you apply your math skills to understand trends and statistics in the world, whether that's you applying some biology in the world, whether that's you understanding your history, your politics, your economics. So all these subjects you learn independently from one another. Geography is that kind of core and that spider web that binds everything together. And without the geography, the world is very patchy and very disjointed. Geography allows you to put everything into one place together, and we hope that is enough to kind of convince you that geography is the way forward.